of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, Ministry of Health and Wellness concerned about increase in dengue cases and the infection acute gastroenteritis. Prime Minister John Briceño speaks on aggression suffered by the BTV at the hands of the GAF while traversing the Sarstoon. And we take you to your Creek Agri Show where farmers are taking part in a 2-day Pitahaya training. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, October 5th, 2023.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Jonas, we need your help. We're detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. It's an ancient ecosystem untouched by man. Whatever is down there is trying to make its way to the surface. This was a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
Jonas, we've got company.
That's the biggest meg I've ever seen.
Biggest meg anyone's ever seen.
That's the apex predator.
Everybody make it to the station! You can make it! Keep going!
3 massive megs and who knows what else have escaped the breach.
You just hope it goes better than last time.
What happened last time?
You don't want to know.
This ain't the end. I saw you again.
Go! We've never seen this before. They hunted in packs.
We can relax. This place, meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
Yeah, it's all we go.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. As we told you in last night's newscast, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is concerned with the number of dengue cases recorded across the country for 2023. But there is another health condition that the ministry is worried about. It has to do with acute gastroenteritis, which is the inflammation of the lining of the stomach and intestine, typically due to an infection. Possible symptoms include abdominal cramps, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting. Pathogens such as bacteria and viruses, as well as chemicals, certain foods, and medications can irritate the lining of the stomach and intestine, causing acute gastroenteritis. Dr. Melissa Diaz Musa, Director of Public Health and Wellness in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, says the ministry is closely monitoring the numbers of infected persons in Belize.
Acute gastroenteritis, which we call AGE, and acute respiratory infections that we short as ARIS, we have been seeing an increase in these two infectious diseases over the last few weeks. They are not in the outbreak zone, or they're not near the outbreak zone, but a little bit over what we call a seasonal threshold. So we do have endemic channels, so channels that look at different diseases, and it looks back at many years and what the trends are. So in Belize, for gastroenteritis, there is an increase compared to last year in all districts, more so Corozal and Orange Walk, and there's also an increase, a slight increase in ARIS compared to last year. So most commonly it's AGEs. So the AGEs are commonly caused by viruses, more so than bacteria. So viruses like norovirus, adenovirus, sometimes you would hear acute gastroenteritis abroad in nursing homes and in areas where communal living occurs. And this is similarly what we're seeing in Belize in terms of the pathogen, viral pathogens causing the increase. And over the last 2 weeks, we've seen a slight decrease in the numbers. So I believe that we have peaked, and now we're coming down a little bit, and we hope that that continues. But the message to the public with regards to AGs and ARIS, these are spread by droplets, respiratory droplets, similar to COVID, coughs, colds can spread by sneezing, by singing, by talking, close congregation, and very similarly, AGEs spread very similarly. So we want to ensure that we enhance hand washing hygiene, especially if you're in schools, you've gone to the restroom, ensure that you wash your hands properly with soap and water. These are the things that will help to reduce spread of viral infections. And like I said, since we're seeing a slight decrease, we hope that that continues over week 39 and week 40, and we're not anticipating any outbreak of either AGs or REs at this time.
As mentioned, the symptoms of acute gastroenteritis are similar to COVID-19 that is still circulating in Belize. However, knowing to differentiate the symptoms is important, and hence why personal hygiene is important. More importantly is that the Ministry of Health and Wellness have all hands on deck and is monitoring the situation.
There are many different pathogens, again, viruses spreading countrywide, which can give you very similar symptoms to COVID. You may get COVID and have very severe symptoms. I may get COVID and just have a headache and a slight running nose for a day or two. So different systems, different body systems would actually show different symptoms depending on the viral load that you got, how healthy you are. There are other factors that affect that. At this point, our positivity rate, the national positivity rate for COVID is very low. It's a little more than 3%, which tells us that it's not a problem. We know that the COVID virus is endemic now in country. I mean, it's endemic globally, and it's something that we just have to keep looking at the trends, looking at the endemic channels to ensure that we don't have an outbreak. And if we do see alert numbers or numbers going towards an outbreak, then we need to ensure that the public is aware. We have not been seeing a lot of people coming out for vaccines, but I just want to take the opportunity to remind the public that all our health facilities have both COVID-19 vaccines, and we're still giving these vaccines, and you're being urged to come in for a booster. And we also have the influenza, the flu vaccines available for children and adults at all our health facilities as well. So, you know, the flu vaccine has saved millions of lives globally annually, and it's really important that we go out and get our flu vaccine as well.
Belizeans believing in science, the country has been able to remain healthier than its neighbors.
I feel that in Belize, our situation was very positive.
And from COVID-19 vaccines, Dr. Diaz Musa spoke about Belize's certification as a malaria-free country. Back in the month of June of this year, Belize became the 4th country in the Americas and the 2nd in Central America to be certified as free of malaria over the last 5 years. While the achievement did not come easy, it marks a huge step for Belize, says Musa.
It has been very rewarding for us to receive this malaria elimination certificate, and like you quite rightly says, it shows the resilience of our population. It shows that the community has worked together for us to ensure that we have kept malaria out of the borders of Belize. And remember, we're talking about malaria being transmitted inside country, in country. So it has been years of work, and coming up to the last 2 to 3 years when we had not seen any local cases of malaria in country, we had to, of course, increase significantly our testing, our training. We needed to ensure that really and truly what we're reporting is the truth, that we don't have any cases. So we started to visit all health facilities, community centers. We went to every aspect of our country to ensure that people were tested, people with fever, people with symptoms that may be malaria. They were tested, and the confirmation was that they were negative. And when the WHO team came in, they did intensive scrutiny of what we had done as well. They went to all the villages, to Trio, down south, and went with us, looked at all our log forms, looked at all the details at the testing, at the procedures that we take in the health facilities, and they were satisfied that yes, Belize is malaria-free at this time.
Over the last 3 decades, Belize has achieved a dramatic reduction in its malaria burden from a peak of about 10,000 cases in 1994 to 0 indigenous cases in 2019. Belize's success has hinged on strong surveillance for malaria, access to diagnosis, and effective vector control methods, including insecticide-treated mosquito nets and indoor spraying of insecticides. Trained community health workers have played a vital role in timely diagnosis and treatment. The Belize Territorial Volunteers BTV made its annual visit to the Sarstoon Island on the 10th of September to plant Belizean flags on the island. They were followed by JAF vessels who later removed the Belizean flags from the island. Then on September 29th, a regular patrol of Will Mejia's Belize Territorial Volunteers BTV on the Sarstoon River resulted in another confrontation with the Guatemalan Navy. According to videos sent by Mejia, the BTV were patrolling and had just spotted Guatemalan fishermen clearly in Belizean waters, but the two Navy boats from the Guatemalan side in Livingston apparently chased Mejia's boat in front of the Belize Defense Force, BDF, forward operating base overlooking the Sarstoon. The confrontation was primarily verbal. When Mejia told the soldiers they were in Belizean territory, one responded that he should visit the captain's office if he wanted to enter Guatemalan territory and comply with Guatemalan law. Obviously, the issue is becoming volatile, and when asked to weigh in on the situation, Prime Minister John Briceño admitted he was yet to receive the report, but at the same time, he asked Belizeans to exercise caution while pronouncing their rights.
Most importantly, I think that we need to continue to point out to the Guatemalans that the Sarstoon, a portion of the Sarstoon belongs to Belize. The entire Sarstoon does not belong to Guatemala, and we need to continue to use the diplomatic channels. We need to be realistic. We have about 1,000 soldiers. Guatemala has probably about 20,000. They have gun ships. They have all the latest equipment and technology to go to war, and we don't. So we could never reach to the point where we say, oh, we're going to pick up our guns against Guatemala. So we have to use diplomacy. Minister Courtney, at every opportunity that he has, when he meets his counterparts, he would express concerns and also to write very strong-worded diplomatic notes, or I said dip notes, to the OAS, to the UN, to the Americans, to the British, to everybody that cares to listen. But at the same time, we also need to be a bit careful, and I say that hesitantly. I say that, for instance, if you have a bull, a wild bull in your land, you're not going to go and jump up in front of that bull and wave a flag because it's going to attack you. What you need to do is to see how you could pen the bull and how you could deal with it. I use that as an analogy to make the point that we also can't be seen to be taunting the Guatemalans because, God forbid, one day one of these people were to accidentally pull the trigger or whatever, then what? So we need to be careful, and I urge to the territorial volunteers to be very careful whilst we accept what they're doing and we understand that they're in our territory and Belizeans are supposed to feel free to move anywhere in the country, including the Sarstoon. But because of the tense situation with the military in that area, I'm urging them to be careful. They take children out there sometimes, and God forbid something were to happen. What are we going to do? We can't invade Guatemala as much as we'd like to, but we can't. So what we have to do, again, use the diplomatic channels, go to the UN and decry what the Guatemala behavior or aggression in our land. Yes, we need to continue putting pressure on Guatemala, putting pressure with our diplomatic, with our friends from abroad, the Americans, the Canadians, the British, the UN, the OAS, everybody, for them to understand the aggression of Guatemala and that it is unacceptable. But I urge as citizens first to be careful.
While PM Briceño is concerned about the safety of those who traverse the Sarstoon, the Minister of Foreign Affairs is utilizing every diplomatic channel at his disposition to ensure that the issue does not escalate.
The position is that Belizeans are entitled to traverse any part of Belize, all right? That's the first point. And so the fact that people want to go into the Sarstoon, as long as they stay on the Belize side, that is their right. Secondly, I have expressed repeatedly, publicly and privately, our very serious concern about the posture that has been adopted by the Guatemalan Armed Forces. I think from the media reports you will have seen that they have become more aggressive. You will see that they have become, the tone in which they speak to Belizeans has been heightened, and we think that that is unnecessary, and we think that that's an escalation in tension. We have been working with diplomatic channels. I've spoken with the Secretary General of the OAS, I've spoken with the Foreign Minister of Guatemala, I've spoken with other friendly countries, seeking to try to get the Guatemalans and the Belizean security forces to at least start communicating, to try to ensure that no incident occurs when Belizeans want to go into the Sarstoon. That process is unfolding. We're in constant contact with each other, and I am hoping, first of all, that there is no incident, and secondly, that there will be respect for Belize's territorial integrity. That we will insist on.
Coming up next, recent cane price estimate reflects an increase in prices for sugar in the international market. Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Come on, let's go! We gotta catch up with Scooby-Doo!
In the middle of nowhere, Scooby-Doo found a little courage.
That's me!
It's my friends. Oh! And a lot of adventure.
Like, man, this place is totally freaky. Why is the water dripping upward?
Now,
If you're in a situation I've never seen
that big before. More weird and creepy mysterious stuff happens in nowhere than anywhere else in the world.
It's on our flag.
Scared, then welcome to the town that isn't there.
Enjoy.
Yes, ma'am. There's nowhere to run. The insects grow to crazy sizes here.
Cookie is a compliment, bananas is a verb. Bravery, I'm confident, is still a dirty word.
And nowhere to hide.
Gesundheit!
Oh, thank you.
If you're falling down a rabbit hole, the only way so laugh until you cry a bit, and then you get unstuck. Are you nutty as a bouquet? Are you loony as a tune? And quit your scowl and do some howling at the moon, like me. Woohoo!
We got a safe scoop!
Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Woohoo! Jackpot! Watch the masters at work!
Needs more mustard. Excuse me, must have been something I ate. Look for it on digital and DVD.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Back in 2021, the People's United Party won the municipal elections by a landslide. Currently, the ruling party is gearing up for another election come March 6, 2024, that is. In some of the municipalities, sitting mayors and councillors will be indoors and won't face a convention. That is the scenario for Orange Walk Mayor Ladrick Shepherd and his team, Corozal Mayor Rigo Vellos and councillors, and San Pedro Mayor Wally Nunes and councillors.
In many instances, we believe that it is best that we try to unite in these elections. In many instances, in most instances, I believe that most of the town council, the municipal bodies have performed fairly well. So as opposed to create more divisions, we believe that we need to be able to unite and to get ready for the elections in about 5 months. I think it's the 6th of March. And we feel confident. We still feel confident that we will win the majority of the seats.
Endorsements will also be held in other districts. Back in 2021, the Ministry of Agriculture launched a program to introduce new non-traditional fruits to small farmers across the country as a way of promoting diversification within the agriculture sector in Belize. Here in Orange Walk, the program focused on introducing local farmers to dragon fruit or Pitahaya production for the export market. Since then, the program has seen a number of field days and trainings geared at providing farmers with first-hand experience on the lucrative business of Pitahaya production. The exotic-looking tropical fruit is highly sought out both locally and internationally for its nutritional and medicinal properties. Here in Belize, only a handful of farmers are in the business of growing the highly profitable fruit. Those trainings continue today as a number of small farmers are participating in a 2-day Pitahaya seminar being carried out by the Ministry of Agriculture through a collaboration with the Japanese International Cooperation Agency.
Sharing with the farmers the technical aspects of growing dragon fruit, and we're going through all the way from seed selection up until harvesting, and tomorrow we'll be dealing with marketing. The farmers are very receptive. We are sharing experiences, and we feel that it is a positive step in the direction that the ministry has taken, in that, as I had shared in prior interviews, dragon fruit is one of the fruit that the ministry has prioritized besides pineapple, soursop, coconut, and passion fruit. In discussing with farmers, they are saying that in their village, they are able to sell their fruit quickly. It's like people are buying and they are encouraged by the good market reception, and they are all planning to expand production. As you know that the ministry is coordinating and collaborating with JICA as well as with the BMDC so that the marketing component is being looked at, and we want to table dragon fruit to feed into the tourism market, in that we feel that that's where we will put our efforts into, and at the end of it, possibly even for export, in that it is in high demand, and we're greatly encouraged by what we have accomplished so far.
This latest series of trainings are focused on Pitahaya production and marketing within the tourism sector and is being funded through the Japanese International Corporation.
Originally, the government of Belize requested the Japanese government to strengthen the value chain of the three commodities, which are potato, pitahaya, and coconuts. So, as a result, we expect the revive the economy of the Belize, which are damaged by the COVID-19. Different from the traditional crop, the pitahaya is very new to the farmers in Belize, and also very new to the market in Belize. So that we can very the fresh start to grow this industry. The farmers and the stakeholder in this value chain do not have to seriously compete with other competitors. So in other words, we currently have a blue ocean of the pitahaya industry in this country.
The seminar is being conducted at the Yo Creek Agriculture Station in Orange Walk and has the participation of over 30 local small farmers. And from Pitahaya, we go to sugar production. The 2023-2024 sugarcane crop season is estimated to begin in the month of December, and as the industry prepares to start a brand new season, the prices for sugar seem to be on an upward trend in the international market. The most recent cane price estimate given to farmers at the end of September reflects an average cane price of $82.84, including the estimated payment for bagasse of $627,722. The estimated average cane price stands at $83.47 per ton of cane. The estimate, according to a release from BSI-ESR, is based on the final 2023 production figures, which show that a total of 103,222 tons of sugar were produced, as well as 43,980 tons of molasses. It is also noted that the final tons cane to tons sugar ratio for the 2023 crop stood at 9.5. The estimate price, according to BSI, includes an underpayment of over $3 million from the 2022 crop, which is now confirmed per the 2022 audited cane farmer certificate. At the end of the season, and taking into account relative factors approved by the Sugar Cane Production Committee, BSCFA Group 14, which includes farmers from Progreso and San Esteban, will receive the highest payment of $87.26, while the Group BSCFA 9, including farmers from San Narciso, San Victor, and Libertad, will receive payment of $79.73. Farmers are expected to receive final payment for the 2023 crop season sometime in November. Cabinet met on Tuesday and gave its approval for the introduction of legislation on a number of amendments to the Criminal Code Act Chapter 101 and the summary jurisdiction offense to amend the following: expanding the definition of aggravated assault to protect prosecutors, judicial officers, public officers, members of the media, teachers, elected officials, and security-related personnel by upgrading the use of threatening words or behavior from a petty offense to a serious offense and increasing the penalty to up to 5 years imprisonment. Cabinet gave its approval for a number of reforms to the criminal justice system, namely the introduction of a criminal procedure, plea discussion, and plea agreement act to establish a system of plea discussion and plea agreements in criminal procedure to address the backlog of criminal cases, the repeal of the Penal System Reform Act to make new and expensive provisions relating to alternative sentencing to expand the options of available alternative sentences that can be passed on convicted persons, and the introduction of the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Act to establish a system for the expungement of criminal records where a conviction is removed from one's criminal record after a specific period of time and after certain rehabilitation requirements have been met. Cabinet also gave its full support for amendments to the National Accreditation Council of Belize Act to ensure that the quality of education delivered and brought to Belize meets standards and allows for the assessment of qualified persons and for the integration of emergency medical response and emergency search and rescue in the mandate of the National Fire Service. Firefighters will be trained in emergency search and rescue, including extrication, rope rescue, confined space, and the swift water rescue. In addition, Cabinet gave its approval for an intake of 60 new firefighters. After consultation, Cabinet also approved the introduction of legislation of a Carbon Markets Initiative Bill to outline the rules, modalities, and procedures for interested parties to engage in the sale, trade, and purchase of carbon credits in Belize and to proceed with public consultations. The government of Belize is seeking to work on the possibility of a Schengen visa waiver for Belizeans. Presently, Belizeans planning to travel to Europe must travel to Mexico and apply for a Schengen visa. Belize has sought the support of the member states of the European Union (EU) for Belize to be placed on the list of countries whose nationals do not require a Schengen visa. Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney says that they hope when the decision is taken for a new list of countries for Schengen visa waivers, Belize would be on that list.
We are working the diplomatic channels to try to reach a position where the Commission, the European Commission on Home, takes a decision that they will have open a new list of countries that they will review for Schengen visa waivers. Our hope is that whenever that decision is taken, Belize is on the list. So we are speaking to the European Commission itself, we are speaking to governments bilaterally to try to say to them, this is Belize's case, we satisfy the requirements, encourage the Commission to take the decision and hopefully put Belize on the list. When is that going to happen? Our ambassador had a meeting this week with representatives from the Commission, and they updated her to say that no decision has yet been taken as to when it is going to happen. They again acknowledge that we have a very strong case, but they were just exchanging notes and giving us some more information about where things are so that we can try to continue to have the process move forward. I wanted to say to Belizeans, this is taking longer than we want, but we have to respect the process that is the European Union process. And so, as I said, I think the case looks good. It's just a matter of time. With respect to Canada, Prime Minister is leading a delegation to Canada for the summit with CARICOM and Canada at the invitation of Prime Minister Trudeau. That takes place, I believe, on the 18th and 19th of this month. And it's a very important summit from Belize's perspective. The first issue that we want to raise bilaterally, not at the summit, is the question of migration, the question of visas. I have received several complaints from Belizeans who find it extremely difficult and frustrating to get a visa to go to Canada. I've had very good discussions with the ambassador, the High Commissioner to Belize from Canada on this issue. So it's certainly on their radar. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to speak to some other of their officials, if not the minister, when we go to Canada to say we need Canada to expedite Belizeans who want to go to Canada. There is no reason why Belizeans are put through the hoops that they have to go through, the time. In fact, I had a specific one where somebody waited for over a year before they were able to get a visa. That's not acceptable to us. We are not a migration threat to Canada, and we will be putting forward our argument very strongly for there to be a visa waiver or at least a more efficient system.
Football fans are anticipating a nerve-wracking football match this weekend in Corozal Town as a team from Belize will be facing off a team from Tulum, Mexico. We spoke to the organizers who say that the intention of bringing an international game to Corozal Town is to zest the sport.
One of our clubs, who is the defending champions, in fact back-to-back champions, will be participating in an international friendly match. And my colleague from the Corozal Sports Council is partnering with us for this friendly game. This is an opportunity for our fans, particularly in the Corozal district, to witness the level of football that is played at the amateur level, both from Belize and from Mexico. So it's a way or an opportunity for our fans to see the level of football.
Back in August, I was asked by the chairman of San Joaquin to assist him in bringing over Club Leones U17 to play against their champs from San Joaquin. So through that process, I got to know other people from Mexico that have sporting clubs, specifically from Tulum and Monterrey, and they asked me to ask the CFA if we could arrange matches with them. So through my office and the office of the CFA, we went about with the logistics to get this game that is going to happen Sunday. So the team that is coming to play the defending champions is Espartanes FC. They are the champions from Tulum. They are the defending champions from Tulum. So it's going to be a champ against champ.
On behalf of the Mexican team, they are bringing a media house who will be airing the game live in Mexico. Belizeans from near and far are encouraged to attend.
They're coming and they're bringing their fans, and they're also bringing their media house, also known as Tambor Sports, to air this game live to be broadcasted in their area.
Well, we are extending a cordial invitation to all football fans, not just from the Corozal district, but from other districts, to come and witness a very interesting and perhaps very challenging football game between our local champions at the amateur level, Calcutta Bulls, who are back-to-back champions, and against a team from the city of Tulum in Quintana Roo, Mexico. And we are certain that it's going to be a very good, friendly game between these two clubs.
Any predictions?
Well, we think it's going to be a close game, but obviously we are looking forward for Calcutta Bulls to be the winner of that game.
There will be drinks and food on sale, so you can bring out the family to enjoy the game. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, October 6th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.